Okay, folks, how's it going this morning? I have to do a video here, guys, for Mrs. K. And for a lot of you guys, because there's something that you guys are missing out on that just you can't get the big picture of it. And finally, Mrs. K has ran across it, and it's just confused her. And I've tried to explain this, but I want to try to explain it again. But there's a lot of you just not getting it, and I'm going to try once again to explain this, okay? You take these 12 Hebrew tribes. You've got like Dan, and you've got Nephtali, you've got Gad, and you've got Asher. You've just got a bunch of them. Judah. We'll just use some of them for an example. We need to throw Levi in there too, just as part of the example. Now, you're going to ask me, Jerry, you talk about some of these people being of the tribe of of Jewish origin, but then you talk about them being of the bloodlines of like they might have the DuPont bloodline, or here's a good example. Aleister Crowley, he is of the tribe of Levi. And that's why that he goes with that monster called Leviathan. And yet, he is of the bloodline of the lie of the Illuminati. And you're like, well, Jerry, I'm just all confused now. How can he be of a Hebrew tribe and have a bloodline of the Illuminati in him at the same time, and what exactly does that mean? Well, folks, I'm going to tell you something. This is the missing Pheronic link that you guys aren't getting when it comes to this, but don't feel bad because most people don't get it. And actually, folks, there is a double meaning. Let me at least say this. Margaret Atwood, that done the Handmaidens Tale, I am of a direct blood lineage to her because my blood father, his last name is Atwood, okay? So Margaret and I are of a kinship, okay, that done the Handmaidens Tale. And there's a double meaning behind that Handmaidens Tale, folks. It ain't only about the end times here and protecting the Illuminati bloodlines with certain bloodline handmaidens, but it also has to do with the origin of those men to begin with. Let me explain. If you take Genesis 30, okay, this is a chapter that is in the Bible that is so important and so relevant to today's times, you wouldn't even believe how much it is. Because let me tell you why, guys, and this is where people are missing out on this, okay? Jacob was the father of these 12 Hebrew boys, right? They were 12 Hebrew boys that he had, 12 Hebrew sons. But where everybody is coming up short is here, guys, when you have children, your children have the blood lineage of their mother and their father, right? Are you getting me on that? Well, he had most of these, and actually I think Rachel also was even this too, but he had most of these Hebrew sons with the handmaidens Bella and Leah. Okay? And guess who Bella and Leah were, folks? Bella and Leah were of a royal blood lineage from Pharaoh. Their daddy was a pharaoh, folks. Let me get another pen here. We done got the Chinese pens not writing again this morning, just like they always do. That's a common thing. The Chinese pens won't write. But they were of a royal blood lineage. Do you understand what I'm saying now? And these girls were these Hebrew sons' mother. So you might have one of these sons that is like of the tribe of Levi, but then at the same time, based upon who he's from the Pheronic link of these handmaidens, have the Illuminati bloodline of the lie. You get what I'm saying? Now, here's where the real trick comes in that you guys don't understand. And in order to understand this, you would have to know what that Ripley, in 1898, his studies, Dr. Ripley, of craniometry and cephalometry, what he yielded with those results of the dolichocephalic skulls of the common people and the brachycephalic skulls of the royal blood lineages. Okay? And what ends up happening is simply this. This royal bloodline right here takes precedence and it takes over. And it supersedes these more common bloodlines that would come from, say, Adam and Eve, just made of dust, of commoners. It supersedes that bloodline. Are you following me on what I'm saying? So now what I'm trying to tell you is these 12 Hebrew sons, to say that they are just Jews and that's it, that's not the end of the story, folks. Okay? I know that a lot of you say, well, the Jews run Hollywood. Well, they do. Some of them. And then a lot of you are going to say, well, you know, the Illuminati runs Hollywood. Well, what's the symbol of the Illuminati? It's a Pheronic pyramid, right? Now you're going to say, well, which one runs Hollywood, Jerry? The Illuminati or the Jews? The answer is yes. The answer is yes, folks. Yes. You get what I'm saying? You never looked at it that way, did you guys? This is the whole key to the Handmaidens' tale, folks. This is the reason why that whenever they made Star Wars and you had Leia on there, she was talking to her daddy, Darth Vader, her daddy, the Pharaoh. Because that's who he was, her daddy, the Pharaoh. You see what I'm saying? How they were mocking you about that now? Because her daddy was a royal bloodline Pharaoh. That's why that Darth Vader had the wings on the back right there from the Pheronic headdress. But if you go on to read the story of Genesis 30, what Genesis 30 will tell you is some of these were goats and some of them were sheep, and Jacob tried to separate them out. But what happened? The spots kept reappearing. It's a metaphor, folks, for his children. If you remember later on in the Gospels, Jesus ends up saying that the wheat and the tares ends up growing together, and let them grow together, that he'll separate them out in the end. Same concept in the New Testament as what we saw in the Old Testament. Okay? You can't tell them apart, the wheats and the tares. That's how come in Revelation 2:9 you got some of them who say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Because they're not of the bloodline, they're more of the Royal Pheronic bloodline, which all of them are anyway. See, that's the reason why Lord Rothschild calls himself the sons of Jacob, but yet when you go to His Majesty's palace, there's a Sphinx in the front of his driveway. And then you think to yourself, well, this guy calls himself a Jew. He says he's the son of Jacob, and he's got Sphinx in the front of his driveway. Well, now you know why, folks. Okay? To say that these men are just, to say these boys are just Hebrews and that's it, it's not the end of the story, folks. That's why all of these so-called Jews that runs a lot of things, that's why they're so intelligent. It doesn't have anything to do with the Jewish end of it. It has to do with the Pheronic link. Many don't understand this, guys. And I am so blessed with knowledge on this, it's not even funny. And I'm not bragging, folks, but I am telling you right now, I am so blessed with knowledge that the Lord has gave me that I really feel like kings would give a wagon full of gold to be able to have the knowledge that I have been granted and gifted by the Lord on this stuff. I have got knowledge that kings would pay a wagon full of gold to have. But this is what's going on right here, folks. It's all about bloodlines. Yeah, they come from one tribe, but yeah, they come from an Illuminati tribe too. See, that is the reason why that you have got Prince William. They claim they're of the tribe of Dan, but they actually are... they claim they're of the tribe of Judah, but they're actually of the tribe of Dan. But then it goes deeper than that, because that Dan goes deep enough that these Vikings that they are actually comes, all that warlike mentality they got, that comes from the Pheronic link of war. Okay? Because Pharaoh, he loves war. So now you know. The Jewish bloodlines and the Pharaonic bloodlines runs parallel to one another. They closely parallel. And Satan is using this to his advantage in these last days, folks, to create all kinds of confusion about this. And you can see where that he would do that, because it is confusing. Do you get what I'm saying? So now, Mrs. K, you really got something to think about, okay? Because here you got a group of Jews that have came from the Hebrew sons, and they've got these Phuronic handmaid mothers, and they've got this royal blood lineage of Pharaoh in them. Okay? Now, do you want me to complicate things even further? This royal blood lineage of Pharaoh, all that mostly came from the devil, unfortunately. And when it comes down to the Merovingian king bloodline, which is what I tell you that I have, you've got this mixture of Hebrew, and then you've got this mixture of Jesus Christ. And guess what, folks? Jesus Christ is absolutely positively a Pharaoh himself. For out of Egypt I knew my son. He is no Jew. He's a Pharaoh. And you're going to say, no, Jerry, Jesus is a Jew. No, he's not. He's the Son of God. The sons of God and God, they're all Pharaohs, folks. That whole blood lineage of all that of God and the sons of God, it is all descendants of Pharaoh. That's why that the devil, he has the whole concept of Pharaoh. It's all a angelic elevated bloodline, a royal bloodline. That's why the Merovingian kings is a royal bloodline from Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. What does it say about Mary Magdalene in Revelation 12? That she was clothed with the sun. That blood lineage of the sun is Pharaoh, folks. Him and Mary Magdalene had what they call a nuclear family. That's what it's called. Just like the atom molecule that you see there, it's a nuclear family. ADAM and ATOM are closely parallels one another in terms of existence and knowledge, but that's what they had, was a nuclear family, because Mary Magdalene was also Pheronic. No Jewish here, okay? Jesus Christ is a descendant of the Pheronic house of King David. But you see the shield of the tribe of Judah on his coat of arms, but then you see the fleur-de-lis of Isis, Horus, and Seth in the crown that sits upon his head. And why would you see that Jewish concept of the bloodline in his coat of arms and yet see the Egyptian concept of that in his bloodline? Because you have a concept of two bloodlines right here that originated with those Hebrew sons. A royal Egyptian bloodline from the Handmaidens, and then a Hebrew bloodline from Jacob. It all gets complicated, folks, but that's what it is. Thank you for watching my video. This was for you, Mrs. K.